Peter Hitchens, columnist for the Mail on Sunday and a vociferous critic of centrist politics.
I think the centre is a completely meaningless term. It arrogates to something which is simply fashionable and largely in control a quality it doesn't have. It pretends there's some sort of physical centre to politics and that those who are outside it don't count and have nothing interesting to say. To the extent they've gone wrong in assuming that everybody outside their little group is illegitimate and should be excluded from political discussion.
In what sense do they think they're illegitimate?
When people claim that they are the centre-left or the centre-right, they are saying we're the people in power, our ideas rule, nothing else counts, and that all the policies which they pursue and the ideas behind them are the only ideas which are valid in modern political discourse. I simply don't think that's true.
Is that how you explain the Trump phenomenon in the US?
I explain the Trump phenomenon by the fact that people who arrogated to themselves the idea that they were the centre, that nobody else had any business having any ideas or saying anything, eventually so annoyed everybody outside their centre that they created a reaction to it, beyond doubt, yes. It doesn't mean I like the reaction. In fact, it was something I tried to warn smug centrists against for many, many years, and all I got in return was patronisation.
Do you think part of the problem is that people are simply bored of centre-left and centre-right governments?
I don't think people are in the least bit bored of the consequences of decades of centre-right, so-called, and centre-left government. I think they're pretty much in despair that anybody has any interest in their problems or has any serious ideas as to how to solve them, which is different from being bored.
So perhaps this is the final possible way forward for parties of the centre. Should they just wait for the populace to fail, for those easy solutions to go wrong? I asked Peter Hitchens about that.
If you were thinking, for instance, of the Greek governments which tried to oppose what the European Union was doing to them, the reason they couldn't do what they set out to do is because they didn't have the power to do so. Governments of European Union member states have very limited powers, especially governments in countries which have accepted the single currency and have lost control of their own economies. So, to some extent, that's an illustration of the problem which supposedly populist parties face in European Union countries. They haven't got the power to implement the changes they offer.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.